thank you again for agreeing to be our guest on Psyched Wife Podcast. We truly appreciate your willingness to share your experience and perspectives. Tonight, we're going to be discussing interracial dating in these modern times. And we have Kassie and we also have Josh here, who are both in interracial relationships. That was a tongue twister. They will both tell their own stories, I guess. You want to introduce yourself, Cass?
Sure. I'm Kassie. I've been in the relationship that I'm in now for 3 years. I'm a mom. I have one daughter. And I think that I'd like to work out a lot. Like that's about sums up me in a simple, short version.
Sums it up. A divorcee.
Yes. Yeah.
Who's currently in a relationship with a Black man. And Josh, you can introduce yourself.
Josh Freund, age 49, on the tail end of a divorce after 26 years of being married, and now I'm 6 months into a new relationship.
Yeah. So on Psyched Wives, we like to give like a little idea of who our guests are, maybe to give you a feeling of their spirits without really knowing their entire background. Cass, you would say you more relate to
the mom from Gilmore Girls as far as maybe more my personality and then how I am with my daughter. But as far as relationship dynamic, I would say I'm kind of like Gina when it comes to how Gina is with Martin.
Lovey-dovey.
Yeah, very lovey. When he picks on her, like she usually gets all pouty and kind of gives him some crap back. Like she kind of goes back and forth depending on what it is that he's doing and how she's taking it in that moment.
Stand your ground. I don't know. I never seen a Gilmore Girls, but I'm gonna take your word for it. I see you being a mom, and it's really sweet.
Yeah, I had to do my research on that because I don't watch TV much, so I had to kind of look around and see like, okay, who would I possibly be like?
It's a throwback show. Then asking was her marriage and current relationship. Those were both interracial relationships.
I guess yeah, kind of. Because my ex-husband, he was half Mexican, so maybe I guess if you're looking at a different race, but not he wasn't Black. No.
Okay. No, I was just asking because I know that was the topic, interracial relationships. So I was asking.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was biracial.
Yeah.
Oh, so the question was how we meet our spouse, or how? Okay.
Yes.
So I met my wife in February of '98 on the Midnight Ramble at the skating rink, 87th Street skating rink.
Woo! We skaters over here.
Yeah, back in '98. I'm an OG, and
I'm a newbie.
So after that, we kind of connected. She saw me do my thing. I was always known for skating in the '90s.
What's your thing?
Well, I did my thing back in the '90s. On the skating floor like I do now.
Okay.
So, and she asked for my number and things went from there. And then a year later, we got married.
Definitely check out Josh's page on a skate tip. Okay. He definitely does his thing.
I'm trying to make a comeback. I'm almost there, but not there.
So, but for Josh, you have always been interested in Black women.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Because
you grew up around Black people?
Yeah. So in 1990, my family moved from Aurora to Chicago. And back then I went to a Catholic grammar school for a few years, and that was mostly white, but had Latinos and a few Blacks. But it was a little bit of a mix, but not, So when I went to Clifford Elementary on the South Side in 1990, it was, I would say, 80% Black. Okay. So it was a different situation. I was now a minority, and then I started to take a liking and getting to know, the Black woman, or the opposite, being a minority, and then the opposite, I guess, race.
So would you say like you related because you felt like you were a minority in that environment?
No, I related because I come from a big family of 8 kids, and my mom ran a tight ship, so she was always tough and hard. And she didn't smoke or drink, and so that was one thing, character trait I loved in a woman was strength, beauty, someone who took care of themselves, didn't smoke or drink. And I noticed in 8th grade, a lot of the Black females in my class weren't about any of that stuff. They had the same traits as my mom did, and so that was something that I picked up on. Okay. And then when I went to Morgan Park High School, same situation, 80% plus Black, and that's when I really started to admire the Black woman.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think Kassie was even telling me she has more of like a similar relationship as far as her religion and how she grew up, that it was always just like melting melting
Melting pot.
a melting pot. So in her religion there were all cultures. Yeah.
Many different races. I was around a lot of different people. Didn't really see much difference as far as like personalities. Everybody was believing the same thing, same goals. So everybody seemed the same to me, just looked different. Like we all were very similar people and within my religion.
So neither one of you felt like intimidated or anything, and like being with someone that was not your same.
No.
No.
Not at all.
Because my main thing always growing up was love doesn't have a color.
Same.
And money doesn't make the man makes the money.
Okay.
So you have to just be who you are, and divine intervention will allow for things to happen.
Yeah.
Organically.
Similar upbringing for me. It was the person is who makes the person, not the skin color or what they look like. It's who you are on the inside is what decides who a person is.
Okay. And so even though those are great outlooks on that you guys both have, you were bound to have some challenges in these relationships. What would you say was your biggest challenge dating?
Probably, and this actually came maybe 2 years in, and it's not even very often. Occasionally we'll have people when we're out give us a hard time because of being in an interracial relationship. And the hard time is usually what I've experienced is women will try to hit on Larry right in front of my face, and they don't give any care about the fact that I'm right there. But otherwise, that's been it. It's not the same, vice versa. If we're out, white guys don't try to hit on me because of Larry being there. Or same, black guys or anybody for the most part. If guys see me with Larry and they know that I'm with him, they're not trying to hit on me. If they don't see that I'm with him, then they will try to hit on me. But as long as he's around, they don't care. They're not going to do any type of stuff like that. They're just going to respect it as far as I've seen. But yeah, women, some of them will try it.
I mean, what do you do in those instances? You keep cool, or
I stay pretty calm. I'll make my presence known, and I'll talk to Larry. Like I never usually address the woman. I address him because he's the one that would be making the stand at that point. So I'll let him know, like, I feel like she's doing a little too much. Like, you might want to shut down the conversation. And then he usually will. There was even one time he went off, and this one cracked me up. He went off and got some guy and like brought the guy back and was like, here you go. Here's a guy for you. And to the girl because she wouldn't leave.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. And what would you say would be one of the challenges in your past marriage?
I mean,
in your relationship?
I think early on when I was just first married or just dating, my wife was always a Barbie doll. And so, yeah, I would have a couple times where I almost got into it with dudes trying to be disrespectful in front of me, and I wanted to check their ass. I don't know if I can say that, but anyways, we almost got into a fight, but my wife held me back at the time. And then also, early on, my wife was an introvert and still kind of is an introvert. She's coming out of her skin though, but just being able to hold her hand in public and walk with her in the mall, that she'd kind of not want to hold my hand a lot of times. That would hurt my feelings because I wasn't ashamed to be with my girl no matter where we were at.
Yeah.
But early on, she was subconscious about the energy she was feeling and possibly dirty looks that she was getting at the time or disapproval. You know what I'm saying? So I understand her stance, but for me, I didn't care. And as over time, over the years, she became way more comfortable holding my hand, obviously, in public and holding onto my arm because I'm old school, I'm old fashioned, and how I approach a relationship a lot of times. So that was about it, really, as far as getting along. I'm stubborn, so her thing for me was I'm hard with change, and my thing with her was because she's had bad relationships before me, and a broken heart before me. I was here to teach her how to love. So I think over the years we were able to learn from each other in those respects on those things. So.
It sounds like on both instances the girls are getting most of the crap. Like the women, you're getting the crap. She was getting the dirty looks. So the men you guys are, you don't feel no type of way. You're with who you love.
Yeah.
And that sounds like how it is for Larry too.
Yeah. He's gotten frustrated in moments. Like we went to a restaurant once and the lady wouldn't barely acknowledge us because of it. And we stood there with nobody else around, like waiting for her to finish what she was looking at a calendar and wouldn't even acknowledge us for a good 2-3 minutes.
Wow.
Yeah, this is crazy to think that it's still going on in these days.
Mhm.
Miss Sophia, you got any other questions?
So yeah, can you hear me well?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
So I heard like what the challenges were from like an external point of view, and like when it comes to the reaction and that you may get on the outside. But how about internally? Like, were there any cultural disconnects in the relationships, the integrity of the relationship?
That's a good one. So, yeah, well, we were hearing our external people giving, dirty looks. And are there any internal?
For me and Larry, not really. Not as far as race goes. We haven't had any issues with that. Like we just have always just looked at each other as just who we were, just our personality. And I haven't had any cultural clashes with him at all. Religiously, like our upbringing was different. Mine was more strict. His was not as strict. So that I wouldn't say it was a clash, but it was more, he understood things about the world that I didn't. And that was more of a difference between him and I, but it was more religious based and a strict upbringing for me where I wasn't really allowed to be around a lot of people. And he was pretty much able to do whatever it was he wanted. So he learned about people faster than me. Sometimes I'll think I can go out to certain places and I'm going to be safe. And he's like, no, you can't do that. You can't just go out there and be safe like that. So that's pretty much the only, I guess, clash. But even that, I just listen to him. If he says that I shouldn't do certain things, I trust his judgment.
You just listen.
Yeah.
Ooh, would that be like you submit?
Yeah. Yeah, because I just believe, I trust him. I trust who he is. I trust that he knows things. I trust he's trying to protect me. Why would he be trying to hurt me in those instances? So I just believe what he says.
But you never feel like he's trying to control you?
No, because he is perfectly fine with me going out places as long as he feels like it's a safe environment for me. But like going out with my one friend, Ashley, we go out to bars and stuff and he's fine with that. But there's certain areas that he'll be like, no, you can't go to that area. That area is not a good area. And so I just trust his judgment.
Yeah, that's protection.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, and before you answer, Josh, I wasn't meaning like necessarily anything heavy. I recently saw a reel that Nick put together with one of his children, and he was taking a shower at her house. They were taking a shower together, and he went to reach for a washcloth, and she's like, "What are you talking about?" I use my hands. So it is necessarily
seen that.
It could be like food or the way that you live, just like any type of cultural differences, not necessarily.
Biracial.
Yeah. I used to use loofahs, but then I had eczema. So I was told by my dermatologist to stop using anything that would be abrasive, which would be washcloths, that would be any type of loofah, any type of rubber pad. I can't use any of that stuff on my skin. And I just learned to not, because they told me to stop doing that because it was making the eczema worse. So that was the reasoning for me to stop using anything. Larry uses washcloths, but it's not like a cultural. I would still say we weren't bothered by it. I knew it all along because I've always been around people, so they would always talk about that. Like, so it wasn't anything I was
You'd always been around
by.
Black people?
Yeah, growing
And
up.
so it never offended you? Like, y'all talking about me? I don't use that.
No, because we'd my dad would make jokes like stuff like that all the time. I'm so used to being teased about things that I'm not really fazed much about that type of stuff. My dad used to call me dumb blonde all the time. I was you're so used to it. It was a joke, and I took it as a joke. I didn't take it offensively. So I have pretty tough skin as far as like teasing goes and differences. And I just know people are going to be different. I don't get bothered by it.
Yeah.
No, I do use a body sponge as the last few years, but for the most part, I was always using bar soap. And I come from a big family of 8 kids, so my parents didn't have all that extra.
Washcloths and
Well,
and carrying on.
more to wash.
I mean, surprisingly, I'm like an either or type of girl. Like sometimes I'm like using it. Sometimes I just want to just go in my hand. All my life we have, but sometimes I just don't feel like they're necessary. So I get it. And then especially if you have something going on with your skin, that's the same thing for me. I've been like to hotels or Airbnbs and their washcloths provided from the restaurant. I'm not gonna use that on my skin. So yeah, I did see that.
First, sticking with me.
Cool. Would you guys both remarry?
Oh yeah.
It would have to be certain circumstances. Either would have to be a prenup because I'm paying alimony for something I didn't want to do and didn't have any part of.
Something you didn't want to do. Oh, you didn't want to divorce.
I didn't want a divorce, and I didn't do anything wrong to warrant the divorce.
Understandable.
That's real.
That was something that Larry and I had talked about because his fear of marriage is similar to what happened to you. He doesn't want to have something like that happen. And personally, I was like, hey, I'm fine with a prenup. I have no problem with that. I make my own money. I'm not worried about taking something from him. I just want to be with him.
In your first marriage, you didn't have to do like alimony or anything?
No, I don't know where were you living at the time?
We live in Illinois, so
I think that's why it's different.
The more years you're married, the more you get to pay. So I can pay up to 26 years of alimony if my wife remarries.
Indiana's a no-fault divorce state, so it's not like that. There's no alimony.
Yeah.
So he didn't. I don't get paid anything. I could have taken half of his 401k. I don't even want to. He worked for that. I just don't feel right taking it. I was young enough at getting divorced that I was able to start making my own. Yeah.
My opinion is no one should be rewarded for breaking a contract. Simple as that.
So you do consider marriage as a contract?
Well, yeah, it's a contract with the state because you have to get a get a
license.
Yeah. And then they're in your business after that.
Wow.
They're in your pockets.
Yeah.
So red state, blue state. No fault alimony.
Well, there's no fault in Illinois, but you can get alimony. So no one has to be at fault to get,
Okay.
Illinois is no fault too?
Yeah.
I thought so because of the firing thing with the work. Yeah. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So it's safe to say that the answer is yes.
I'm sorry, Sophia, yes?
You can hear me? I feel like it's delayed every time I say something. There's a delay because you respond like a little after. I'm sorry.
She said it's a delay. That's why you had it up so we can hear her.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. I was saying that I'm happy to hear that both of you, although you had experiences that weren't the best, you're still not jaded towards marriage. Even with you being slow to say yes, you're like, I would protect myself, but
Oop, I called her.
That's okay.
You will protect yourself.
Okay, I was saying that he didn't say no. He was just saying he would like to better protect himself the next time, so that anything happens to pay any alimony. So
right now it's a hard no, but if ever I had the inkling that there would have to be
you did not say a hard no at first. You said yes, you're considering it with a prenup.
Well,
but you're still working.
I'm bitter and pissy right now, so I'm all over the place. You know.
Did anyone do post counseling or?
During the divorce process, we tried it. Like we tried to do marriage counseling. But the lady only did like one session, and she's like, "You guys aren't probably going to make it." Like it was very discouraging. Yeah. She was just like, I think the reason why was because when she was asking if I put in like work toward repair and all that, I said yes. And when she asked him if he put work in toward repair, he said no, because he was just a very bad communicator, and he acknowledged it. She's like, well, if you're not trying and you're not working on it and you don't know how, it's not going to work out. So I don't even think you guys should come back. And I was just like, hey, like, okay, that kind of solidified it for me that I don't think this is ever going to change because he doesn't even know how.
Wow.
So we didn't do any counseling. She just made up her mind and she shut down, you know.
Did you do premarital counseling initially? No. Okay.
No. We saw early on in our marriage, we saw a psychologist, I think one time, and that was it. So, and I don't know what became of it. I remember it was like, that was back in like 2001, 2002, a long time ago.
Are you considering getting any counseling going forward?
I have considered it. However, I just think that time has to heal all wounds. And I'm old school, so I'm not big on counseling. I think life has been my counselor. I think y'all have been my counselors. My customers have been my counselors. My family's been my counselors. My skate family's been my counselors. So, like, it takes a village to raise a child. I feel like I'm a child again. The village is everybody around me that's helping to fortify me and to kind of give me piece by piece back on myself.
Wow. Thank you. I can completely relate. Yeah. I mean, I do counseling too, but it's all people, like you said. It's us. We're working through things. We're talking and we're learning from each other. Yes. So I completely agree.
As a collective.
I mean, we have the tools. You know, we learn the tools. But unless you're going to actually use them, it doesn't make any sense. Yeah. But whatever feeds you, like if that works for you, if the tools work for someone else, you know, however that works for the person.
For sure.
You're still a good person. You're coming through it. So you're doing the best that you can right now.
Yeah.
So who would you say apologizes first in an argument in the relationships you're in now?
Me all the time.
All the time?
Yeah.
I would say it's about 60% me, 40% Larry. He does a pretty good job at apologizing eventually. Like he'll get there, but it takes him more time to come around to it. I'm quicker to come to it.
I didn't witness that yesterday.
With what? With him apologizing?
Yes.
What do you mean?
Like you guys were, I can't even remember what it was. You guys were talking, about the remote that got thrown. And you were like, well, you threw the remote and da da da. And he was just like, I know, but I just wanted this and I just wanted that. Like you were trying to explain more. Did you apologize initially in that situation?
Yeah.
Yeah, you did?
Yeah. And I don't think he ever apologized for that, what started the argument. Because he was about to start. That's why I got mad at him yesterday.
Okay, because I'm like, you were holding on to yesterday, girl.
I was getting frustrated. So like, you're telling half the story. If you tell the whole story, it would make more sense as to why I got mad in the first place. But he didn't. He didn't. No.
And that's fine. And maybe and me and Sophia's talked about this. Sometimes you don't want people all up in your relationships for every little thing.
Yes.
So do you agree with that? Was that something that you and your wife kind of kept people out of your marriage?
Yeah, so my wife was really private, so I had to really just dial it all the way back because I'm an open book for it pretty much. And so that was one thing I really had to just, put the brakes on for me. And I had to go inward because, again, out of respect for her, I had to be really private as well.
Wow.
And I think I did a darn good job. Really good job.
Okay.
Because it's hard not to want to just share with people, especially if you're a talker.
I'm a pretty open book for the most part, but I've also learned to not be so much in a relationship because once you're too open about your relationship, people have a lot of input. And having so much input could actually be either frustrating or it can be damaging when you're already if you're on shaky grounds by any means. Having somebody give any type of negative input can make it even shakier. So I've just learned to just keep things to myself for the most part. You don't want somebody looking at your person side-eyed. You don't want them to feel that way. You love them. You don't want them to look at them in a negative light. So for the most part, I keep things pretty private.
And I would think that would be even more so in interracial dating. Like maybe a grandma or a great grandma was like, why are you dating this person that's not your same? I
was lucky. They really her family really took a liking to me. And we were 6 months in dating and her mom would let me spend time with her and sleep over kind of.
Well, we are loving people.
Yeah. But with the others, she wouldn't let the others before me spend the night. I was like the exception.
Right. Well, Black people are loving people.
Yeah.
White people have the cultural history of racism. So no one's grandmas, great grandmas were like.
No, because I'm not close with anybody other than my family. And I wasn't really close to my family at the time. I was more closer to her family over time. Okay. Especially because.
And it wouldn't matter.
Took me in.
Yeah, it wouldn't have mattered. If somebody would have said something, you guys would have, been like, I love who I love.
Everybody in my family is similar to me. Like they see it the same way, like that people are people. And my whole family's been that way since as far back as I know. Grandparents, aunts, uncles, they're all that way. And Larry's family was very open to another race. Like they liked me a lot. They always start telling him that he needs to put the ring on it kind of thing. They're always asking questions. When you go marry her? When you go marry her? So he gets a lot of pressure. It's even from like one of his close cousins who's a guy. Like he'll put the pressure on him, which is pretty hilarious to me.
Okay. And the girl you're dating?
I think her mom likes me. I met her mom one time.
Pressure's on?
Yeah, the pressure's on. I mean, she has a good friend that doesn't like me. That's another whole situation. But yeah.
Is it because you're white?
No, it was funny because she said there's something about you. She's like, I don't think about this about anybody else, but she's like, there's something about you I don't like. I'm like, well, that's a personal problem. Deal with it, because I'm not. If I don't give you a reason not to like me, I don't know what to tell you. A lot of people do like me, so I don't know what to tell you.
Okay, who spends the most money?
Larry is definitely a spender. Absolutely, he loves spending money.
Being married all those years, all my money goes towards whatever. So
y'all trying to say Black people flashy? Sophia, is that what you're hearing?
No, that is not what I'm hearing.
I would just say I'm a giver and a provider. So if I got it, I'm gonna give it. If I don't got it, then we're gonna have to wait a couple of days. So I get the money.
Okay.
Larry has expensive taste. He likes expensive things, and like a shirt's gonna cost him like $50 to $100. I'm like, a freaking shirt? Like, come on.
Well, yeah, as girls, as women, for sure, we can go grab some from Akira or something.
Yeah, I'm more of the frugal one. I'm cautious about spending money. I think about it a lot more. I'm the planner, and he's kind of like fly by night. Like, let's see what happens tomorrow.
Okay. So what is a habit that drives you crazy?
Larry's messy. He's a messy person. He just kind of comes in the door, and wherever he sets something down is where it lands and where it stays. He's literally walks out of his shoes as he's walking in the door. Like, he doesn't put them on the side. Like, he just takes his feet out of the shoes. And there's one here and then one like a few steps forward. So he's kind of all over the place, chaotic with his stuff. That drives me insane.
And I can appreciate that about Josh. He came right in, took his shoes off. And sometimes people come to my house and don't take their shoes off, and it drives me nuts. But he came right in, took his shoes off. Like, this is how I do in my house. The shoes were right next to each other. They're so neat.
Yeah, I mean, that's just how I was raised. And then obviously being married for over 26 years, that's how we kept our house maintained. Just try to stay neat and tidy. Now, there was times where I was messy, but my mess were confined. And then my wife helped me work through those issues of being kind of a pack rat. Is
there a difference in the young lady you're dating now as compared, not like to compare, but is there anything that drives you crazy about her that you can see like that? My wife helped me with that. She was good at that, but you're like driving me crazy with this.
So I would say I'm more lenient now, but I understand that we all have a different phase in our lives where we're this a certain way, and then we kind of level up and grow out of that. So I'm pretty lenient with her, and I kind of give her that grace, like my wife gave me grace. You know, so I would say she's kind of messy. She's not as disciplined as she probably could be, but then who is when they're younger? It's we're all learning, we're all growing. So I don't ever get on her about anything, because I know that eventually she'll grow out of it and level up.
Okay. I know one interesting thing, which I wanted to both ask you. I know Cass told me that she was never interested in white men at all, because they kind of reminded her of her brothers. Like, oh my God, she looks like my brother, or he looks like my uncle. And I just thought that was so funny. Do you think maybe that's the same reason for you, or were you interested in white women at one point?
No, I was. I just felt maybe as I got older, like I said, it was the initial attraction, I think, was just the way the black women carry herself, down to earth, more accepting of my energy, because I was always a class clown. The white girls always thought I was corny. The black girls were a little more understanding of my humor and who I was as a person. So I don't think I rubbed off on them the way I did with the white girls growing up. And then obviously the way they took care of themselves, the way they valued and treasured taking care of their hair and things like that. And I was always into that for myself. So
yeah,
I really respected that and was attracted to that. And obviously the skin color wasn't more of an exotic compared to my light skin. That was I thought was a sexy thing too.
Wow.
Yeah.
So would you guys consider like those being fetishes?
No.
No?
Maybe. I don't even know. I mean, I think, because I think everyone's attractive. Any woman's attractive depending on her skin type. It doesn't matter. Mm-hmm. But as far as like the energy of a black woman, I can relate to that energy. And maybe I was black in a former life, and I'm just used to that energy. That's kind of how I look at it from a spiritual aspect too. You just never know. You know
Okay. Any other questions, Sophia, before we close this out with our words of wisdom?
Let's see. Nope, I was gonna go straight to the words of wisdom questions.
Okay. Well, what advice would you give someone about coming back out into this dating world after divorce? We'll go with Kassie first.
For me, it would be to stop saying that you have so many options and saying that you can have whoever you want. You can go from person to person, because first, that's going to put the person off. They're going to be turned off by that immediately. And then also, it's so untrue. It's completely false. It's a false sense that you have, that you feel like you have so many options, because the options are terrible.
Wow.
They're terrible.
It's peeing
On yourself, because God's going to lead you to your person. I'm not big on apps or any dating sites. I just think I'm old school, that if I'm going to run into them in person and things are going to happen, that it will happen. And usually it happens when you don't want it. And so just like when I met my wife, I wasn't looking for anybody. She wasn't looking for, anybody. We connected. My new girl, I wasn't looking for anybody. We connected. So I think if you want to be a magnifier for any manifestation, just don't be looking for it, because you can't, as my wife said, you can't receive with a closed fist. You got to be open.
Oh, you still get some back.
My wife was my best
Ideas.
teacher. I can quote her. I
Wow.
can quote her for days. She was my goddess.
Oh, I'm sorry. That just touched my little heart.
She was my greatest teacher,
Wow.
bar none.
Okay. You feel like that about your ex-husband?
No. He never talks. Like, what are you going to learn?
Silence is golden. Some things are better left unsaid.
I guess. I don't know about that even.
If you could shut down one stereotype about interracial dating forever, what would it be?
That culture is going to make it to where you can't connect. I've never connected with somebody more than I have with Larry.
Okay.
What was the question? My ADHD kicked in.
If you could shut down one stereotype about interracial dating, what stereotype? Okay, so the stereotype would be culturally you cannot connect. I'm not gonna lie, I'm a firm believer, because I feel like, not that if we weren't raised the same, because even me and you had a initial, connection as soon as we met. Like, it was really strong. Like, girl, I'm like, what? Like, I'm not saying the connection won't be there, but what I'm saying is further down the line, there might be things that come up that you completely won't ever understand, because you've never been in that situation, which is a huge reason why we decided to start the podcast, because I would always see people talking about marriage this, marriage that, negative this, negative that. And I'm thinking, like, these people have never been married before.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes when you think like you've never been in my skin, there's going to be something that you're not going to be able to understand, feel, relate to.
What I would say to that is that's the case for anybody and everybody in every situation.
Yeah.
So it's always going to be things that somebody went through that you're not going to understand. And that could be culturally, that could be racially, that could be just being different background as far as religion. It could be a different field as far as your career goes. It could be so many different things. But the best thing that you can do is always walk into a situation saying, I'm not going to fully understand, because I'm not you. I've not been through what you've been through. And if you accept that and you go into it like that, you're going to be more willing to learn and understand, because you already know you're not going to ever fully understand. So your ears are more open.
Thank you. I can agree to that. Even when I was studying psychology, I was thinking like, oh, I'm not going to ever understand someone getting, attacked, or there's some things I'm not going to ever understand. And I was like, how can I understand these things? So you're right. I try to go in just learning more.
If you ever go and talk to somebody who's been through something like that, like any type of sexual assault, if you say like, well, I understand, it's probably the most insulting thing you could ever say if you've not been through it. Yeah. And it's the same thing when it comes to racial differences. If you tell somebody who's been through racial situations where they were discriminated against, or if somebody was being hateful toward them, if you say, I understand, it's insulting. It's going to be insulting because you haven't been through it. So if you say like, I don't understand, and tell me so I can try my best to understand, that's more something that somebody's going to be receptive toward.
Okay.
I'm big on compassion and grace, because you never know what people are going through. Mm-hmm. And so my heart goes out to anybody who's been persecuted or treated a certain way, or and I was abused as a child too, growing up. So I know what it's like to be treated like less than a human being. And so I try to give a lot of grace and a lot of compassion to people.
I agree. I do. I think like that too, only because when my mom passed away when I was 19, you know how you get that 3 days off for bereavement or whatever. Mm. And I went back to work after the 3 days, and I was just so sad. I was a Jewel cashier, big up Jewel Osco, but I was just so sad. And I was running up, this lady's groceries, and she was like, "You didn't speak to me today." And wow, these people are rude in here. Like and at first I just really wasn't paying attention because I was just so down. And I I blacked out and I literally jumped across. I got her, and it took 3 people to pull me off the lady. But besides that, Sophia, have you ever dated anyone outside of your race or your ethnicity, culture?
Absolutely, I have. My parents didn't specify what I should date and who I should not date. I wasn't necessarily around interracial dating often. I went to a high school where there was
That's because we turned the
high school. And then later on in life, yes, I have gone on dates with other races, and I always feel like character is going to supersede color or culture. Once you get to know, you're going to look beyond that, especially if you are physically attracted to them. So it really doesn't. We have a strawberry face. That's what you like. So if you happen to date only black women or only black men, that's what you like. That's who you're attracted to. That's what it is. Now, if you start to do little things that you couldn't here, and you go ahead and smash. And for Josh, I know that you're a little jaded towards counseling, but I have heard you kind of refer to spirituality. So hopefully you can find a safe space in there and someone to talk to, because I still see some need for healing for you, even though you're in another relationship or dating, you're still healing from your previous marriage. So hopefully you can find a safe space, maybe a spiritual mentor, if not a counselor, and then this is things out so you can start to feel better. But I don't think the dating pool just has and boo-boo in it. I just think it's all about intentionality and what you are bringing to the table and what you are projecting. You're going out there and you're not being yourself, and you're presenting as a way because you're scared or guarded. People are going to see that. They're going to see that out, and you're going to kind of get people who are playing. But it's possible.
Yes.
I didn't catch that part.
Hopefully we'll be planning a marriage for you.
Oh, Jesus.
All right. Thank you guys for joining us this evening. Like, share, comments. We'll hit you back up. Definitely follow Josh's skating page. Definitely follow Cassie's TikTok.
No, Facebook
group,
and Instagram.
Facebook group, Instagram group. And we'll see you guys next time.
Bye. Thank you.